awful. It was awful to watch. We were like, I'm just like,
You guys actually all stressed out?
yes.
Okay, why were you guys?
So we knew Bates was really fit, but we also knew the field was insane. So like a big goal when either of them race is top American, just obviously with the nature of getting ready for the trials and confidence. But we also knew Bates was like, had a potential to run the American course record. So when she was in the front, we were freaking out, and Emily came in and she was like, she might podium, she might win. And I was like, shut the fuck up, because I didn't want to jinx it. And she's like, oh my God, I know, I'm so sorry. So we were tense. I mean, like, I want Joe to be happy as his wife, but no, it's like that we love Bates so much that we're freaking out. And then we knew nothing about Scott, and he was so far behind like the lead pack and then even Connor Vance that we literally didn't see him until Katie pointed at the screen when it was like on Kipchoge finishing, and she's like, is that Scott? And we all lost our shit. We were so excited. But yeah, it was very tense. She had, well, her last two, let's see, that's her fourth build with Joe. And the first three were all, we're gonna go left here. The first three builds were like pretty consistent with what she would run in workouts. You know, like her 24 milers would be in the 550s, which is great. But this build, she was doing a harder route and going like way faster on those long runs. And then when she'd do fartlek, she'd average way faster than she ever did. So we all were, the last month of her build, very aware how fit she was and super excited. Well, I think there's more like content creators and media like you guys. When I was coming out of school, it was Flow Track and Workout Wednesdays, and that was the peak content. And so I think that's a lot different now. In terms of like my race experience, I'm like still doing the same Diamond Leagues, still doing the same things, so that hasn't changed. But yeah, I think when I came out of school, there was the powerhouse teams that were sponsored by shoe companies, and those still exist now. They're just different teams now. And then there definitely wasn't like something like us, or it was just a high level training group of like a non-sponsored team. So a lot of it's the same, but I think there's some fun things that are different. I think Zurich has really good food.
Zurich is great.
I feel like the consensus is there's no one meet that like nails it all. I think Zurich, in my experience, has like the best food.
Oh yeah, you got to get an appointment.
Zurich has like the best food. I think some of the nicest like meet staff and volunteers. Obviously it's a cool city, but like the Monaco Stadium and race experience is really special and unique. But similar, Oslo has a very cool vibe, and really nice weather for distance races. So sometimes you're in like the coolest city, and then back at this little thing on the left, go down to the path.
Yeah.
Yep. Like some have kind of grouchy meet directors, but an awesome venue, or shitty food, but
If you could combine
great volunteers.
the warm-up track of Rome with the city and hotel of Oslo, with the track of the meet experience of Monaco,
And the staff of Zurich.
and the staff of Zurich.
And the money of Zurich.
Yeah. Perfect.
Oh, we're not even talking about pre. I also love pre. Like Tom Jordan, the old meet director, is so great. It's so fun to see. Like time zone wise, we're in the dining hall and all of our opponents are looking like scarecrows, looking so bad and tired. And we're all fresh. Yeah. And they're like, yeah. Their post-race interviews are like, I felt a little bad today. It's like, yeah, guys. Cory last year raced in like 7 different time zones in like 10 days. And you're like, I'm fine.
I feel like the new Hayward has been really good for me.
Oh, sorry.
So definitely, like, even though I'm not crazy about Eugene, no offense, I love the track. And then, like, I was just saying to Emily, even though, like, I feel like I haven't had like an actual breakout race there. Monaco is like I just love like the whole experience there, because I love how I can like go swim. Oh, I know this is probably such a crazy reach, but like Monaco kind of reminds me of my hometown.
What?
Just like being on the water and like running on the beach, and that's like my life where I'm home. It's not like as ritzy, but it like reminds me of home, so I really like going there and like running along the coast and swimming and stuff.
I've only done Zurich and pre-Diamond Leagues, so hopefully this year.
It doesn't have to be a diamond.
What did you say? Oh, it doesn't need to be Diamond League.
It's in your trust.
Everywhere.
Yeah. I mean, I love that London stadium. I feel like that was sick just because it's so many people. I also feel like I love that one because my mom and a bunch of my aunts came, and that was like the only international race that I had family come to, which was cool. London. Or actually, that's a lie. I don't know why I said that. They came to Eugene, they came to Rialp. But I guess maybe outside of just my parents, it was cool to have other people.
I feel like as a spectator, the London Bowl of Champs is like the most fun.
Yeah, that stadium was sick.
That looked great.
Yeah, I know. It was
Everyone got
good vibes.
Do you remember that?
Oh, Sheila, I remember.
Canadians, yeah.
Yeah, they got hit hard.
Like there's a lot more track, like coverage, I feel like.
Yeah, it's huge.
So like,
Dom Scott gets the most nervous, I think. And then who gives the best motivational?
Is that consensus for Dom?
yeah. I think like she doesn't show it as much, but I feel like sometimes Danny gets kind of nervous, but she like is good at it. But like I can tell since we're together, but I feel like she is still very confident, but she just gets a little bit like quiet.
Motivational.
Yeah, no, thanks, Katie.
Well, I feel like I haven't had Emily around that much since, but she's like very optimistic, so.
Oh, you're so sweet, Cor. I know, I'm like the worst person to answer these questions.
But
I love everyone. That's my answer.
I don't really, I'm not gonna say I don't get nervous for races, but I really like racing, so I feel like I don't really get that nervous.
Very
What?
more serious.
Yeah, he's get serious. He's really fun.
I want to. Aisha wants to go to the tailgate. I want to make more teams, win more titles, and win another global medal before I hang up my old New Balance specs.
My goal is to win something, not get second.
Yeah.
I get second a lot, so want to win a race. That's like a big race, and I don't like to think too much about time, but I want to run like a 0.2 second PR at least.
Yeah.
And I also want to make a second Olympic team, and have my family at the Olympics and not just like be at the village chilling with a bunch of people that want to see their like families.
I have 2 Jamaican records that I want. I think 2 left. Oh no, 3, because I gotta get the indoor mile back. And I want to get those 3 records, make my 3rd Olympic team, make a final, and if I make every team that's on offer before I retire, that will be 10 national teams. And that's just a nice round number to walk away on.
Nice number.
Yeah.
I definitely want to make another Olympic team, and I'd love to finish higher. And I have time goals, but I feel like more than that, want to make more teams.
Definitely.
And be up there in those championship races. I mean, I'd love another medal, but it's a pretty tall order.
Any room goals, Emily?
Oh my God, yeah. I mean, I was real obsessed with got up to 210, 4 reps.
So good.
But I'd love to get double my body weight.
In this group before they're all done, I want to make a team with them. And
You got a long time. You're not done for a while.
I know. Yeah, I want to make my first team. My mom's been 4th 3 times, and it's always been like a lifelong dream of mine to make a team. So I want to do that like for myself, but also for more than myself. And yeah, I mean, obviously there's always time goals, but I think when you put yourself like in the race, those things just kind of happen.
Who's best with the Aux Cord?
Very diverse. Yeah.
But also very specific. Katie and I will never do a treadmill workout together because I hate the music she chooses, and I am like a tween with the music I choose is just Taylor Swift. I'm not gonna speak ill of Dawn, but I did a workout with her. Yeah, mine is, compared to Katie, yes, I'm closer to Dawn, but Dawn's, we did a workout next to each other and it was a lot of mental toughness because it was her playlist. Bye. Well, because Danny likes country, but she also says she cares what's on the screen. She doesn't care about music. Because remember, she always puts on The Last Dance.
Oh.
No, not Save the Last Dance.
Oh.
The Last
What's
Dance.
The Last Dance?
Michael Jordan.
Oh.
Mac, to your first question, how has Joe changed? He's still quiet, he still has big lips, but I think he's super, super quiet and doesn't love small talk with strangers or like being what he would call fake, but what I would call friendly. And so if he doesn't actually know you, he's not going to be very open to you. And I think for a long time that was probably not what like a coach of a lot of good runners should be like. But I feel like he's gotten to be like a very, very much better communicator, and he's more outgoing. But then he also, compared to what I hear in the world, I think Joe's like has an incredible skill compared to other coaches of like being really patient and very methodical, and he's really like there for his athletes, both physically every day, but then via text or calling or whatever. I think everyone on the team knows that Joe spends every waking moment thinking about them and their training. It's not like he gets home from practice and is like, turns his brain off and is like, we're gonna left. And is like, all right, now I'm just a man named Joe. It's like, no, he eats, sleeps, and breathes this. But I'm also biased. I feel like Cory, you can probably speak to how Joe has changed as a coach.
I see a couple like more specific, like, I guess just like training related ways that he's sort of changed. Obviously, like, we used to do stuff that was more like almost, God, I don't know a way to say this. It's not like, so like it used to be like we fell into the trap of like Boulder has like their go-to spots, like run at mags, be hardcore, like kind of just the typical Boulder, like historically popular places to train. And I feel like Joe's gotten smarter with training in that I used to kill myself like 5 or 6 days of the week, and that like worked, but I don't think it was necessarily sustainable. And he's gotten much more thoughtful about like the type of effort on each day of the week, which is like honestly just like more focused on longevity, which is really helpful. Like he's always been good at individualizing stuff, but I feel like it's gotten even more individualized because of the nature of the type of work that we do, where like when he used to just drop us off for a long run, I could like get myself into trouble. Now it's like all very measured and thoughtful, and you're given more specific instructions on like effort. So that's a big change. And then another change that I thought of recently, which, let me think for a second. Oh, I know. I don't know if Joe's gonna like this. I think he might not like this. We used to never talk about weekly mileage. And in the last year, I'm like, so we care about weekly mileage now? And I think Joe would be like, no, I don't, if he heard me saying this. I don't think he actually cares about like Sunday, whatever, like a week. He cares about like the 7 to 10 day cycle, which makes sense, especially because we like have some of the best marathoners in the world now.
Yeah.
But like some people definitely keep track of their mileage, and like something that like admittedly on a personal level I would never do is care about that. So I'm like, these are all literally made up numbers. Like, talk to my Australian friends, they don't give a shit about mileage. They care about a completely different measurement. So I don't know. I don't know if Joe actually cares about it, but I feel like our team talks about it more.
Oh, I feel the opposite, Core, because like,
Really?
yeah,
I'm always
I
like,
used to run 10 miles more a week than I run now,
yeah.
and I every week would add it up on my own. But I think now that we just use Final Surge, it just is written there every day
Yeah.
or every week. So I'm like, I'm running 84, cool. And at least like within our house, Joe definitely doesn't give a shit
Yeah.
about like that volume. He used to be a lot more addicted to that. Well, not addicted, but like interested
Yeah.
in
Putting more.
me running consistently over 90 miles a week. And now I'm running low to mid 80s.
Yeah.
And he doesn't think it matters.
Yeah, like Joe's good about that because if you might feel tired or something, he's like, well, how many miles have you run in the last 7 days? Versus what's your like weekly mileage? Because it's not like there's a hard reset on, you know, when you're sleeping Saturday night.
Yeah.
And wake
Your
up
battery's
fresh.
fully charged,
Yeah.
ready to go.
And like maybe it could honestly just be having marathoners on the team now, where I've heard so much more like weekly mileage conversations, and I'm like, I don't know what you guys are talking about. But obviously like Emma Bates and Dom and them like kind of have to think about that because they're trying to hit a certain amount.
But even then, it's like Bates runs 15 miles more than Scott, which I think is like, goes to show how individual
Yeah.
it is. And like Bates thrives at 1:30. She'll do 1:30 and like go out to dinner in a cute skirt
Yeah.
and heel jeans and be like unaffected. And
Insane.
I hit like
And Scott,
96 and I'm like,
Scott, to clarify,
Not in heels.
I didn't to put the skirt and heels on.
I'm just floored by Joe, his ability to be involved in everything, like the whole process,
and right here, Mom.
and for all the athletes. And like, I just think his knowledge of the body, I am like just continually impressed. And yeah, and it's just really cool to have a coach who also is coaching so many top high-level athletes that can do that and can focus on strength and know like my hips are a little different. I need to be doing more of this stuff or that stuff. It's just, yeah.
Like strength stuff.
Right, or I'm sorry, left. I said right, I meant left. Sorry. And then you can just stay on this high road, Mac, on the right here. And our loop is over.